Derek Carr played yesterday in the early game against the Kansas City Chiefs. He played one drive, threw a touchdown pass. Here's Carr after the game on how it felt to be wearing a Saints uniform.
For them putting on, black and gold, for the first time, it was probably a little weird because when I put that uniform on and I went in the mirror to, fit, I was like, Jake walked up, he's like, that looks weird. He said, I was like, I know, bro, I've been in the same place for 9 years, but it may look weird, but it felt right, I told DA that earlier this week. I just feel refreshed, I feel rejuvenated, and to put that uniform on and, come out and be a Saint, it felt really good.
All right, well, we'll see how it goes. I know that Carr's kind of like a Kirk Cousins, where you know what he's going to do and you know what he's not going to do. I really feel that way. And they're in a very wide open division. They could be very successful this year. Let's see what happens if and when they get to the playoffs. That's where Derek Carr has a chance, Chris, to change the narrative. A la Rich Gannon, the former Raiders quarterback. We've talked about that recently. That's one guy that found a way in his 30s to reach a higher level of performance. That's what we wonder whether we're going to get from Derek Carr this year in New Orleans or Kirk Cousins in Minnesota.
Yeah, Carr looked really comfortable. Carr looked like a machine, right? They've done right by trying to get the best out of Derek Carr. Bringing John Gruden in there, it's the same offense. So he looked decisive, knew where he wanted to go with the ball. He was sharp. That was all good. And what I'll say for Derek Carr, too, is, the Saints, I know you're like me, too, here. I'm really interested to see what they are. We know the D is legit. We know that. The O-line's damn good. And I'm not sure this isn't the best supporting cast Derek Carr's had around him in his career on the offensive side of the ball when you really think about it, right, Mike? I don't know if I'm crazy to say that. That O-line, Michael Thomas, Olave, Rashid Shaheed, we saw Juwan Johnson twice on that highlights, the tight end over the middle. They got some ballers here. Kamara's going to be gone for a few weeks, okay, but they'll make do. That's where, they're one of these teams that's flying under the radar that I know you and I both agree could be one of those teams that pops up when we're going, damn, the Saints are good halfway through the year.
Somebody in the NFC South is going to win that division and host a playoff game. They were packed as tightly together as they could be last year, with one team 8-9 and the other three 7-10. Somebody, who knows, is somebody going to run away with it, or is it just going to be the same thing? Sink to the bottom and somebody ends up being floating on top. I don't know. But the Saints have an equal chance, in my mind, going into the season, as the Falcons, Panthers, and Buccaneers do, to win that division. But a lot of it depends upon Carr. And look, Carr can get you to the playoffs. He can win the division for you. He can help make that difference between 8-9 Bucks and 7-10 Saints. He can make you 9-8, 10-7, 11-6. But is he going to win games for you when it's time to go to the postseason? That's going to be the real question. If the Saints make it to the playoffs, and who knows? Before you know it, we'll season hasn't started yet, but we know what happens, Chris. Once you strap into the roller coaster ride, before you know it, we'll know.
We know. Once we go, you'll be making fun of Derek Carr's accent at some point, and you'll be, I love you not with Kirk Cousins
not him.
And all the craziness will start.
Yeah. I don't make fun of his accent. I just point out that for certain players like he and Aaron Rodgers, there's this Southern accent that just kind of pops up in unexpected moments.
Well, he is Southern. He does have an excuse. He is from Texas.
Right. But he talks most of the time as if he's not from Texas. And then the twang just kind of comes up out of nowhere. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.